Hattori Hanzo, History, Ninja Myth, and Pop Culture. Ninjas. The very word calls to mind shadows moving silently across rooftops, masked warriors throwing shuriken, and mysterious figures vanishing in smoke. From Hollywood blockbusters to Japanese anime like Naruto, the ninja has become one of the most powerful icons of Japanese culture worldwide. But here's the twist. Behind the fantasy, behind the pop culture, there was a real man whose name still echoes today. His name was Hattori Hanzo. In history, Hanzo was not a smoke bomb-wielding assassin, but a loyal samurai and commander who served Tokugawa Ieyasu, the man who would unify Japan and begin the Tokugawa shogunate. Yet over centuries, stories transformed him. Step by step, his image shifted from general to ninja legend, until in modern times his name has become almost a synonym for ninja itself. That's the journey we're about to take together. In this video, we'll explore Hanzo through 3 layers. First, the historical Hanzo, the man who actually lived. Second, the ninja myth, how tales and traditions reshaped him into a master of shadows. And third, Hanzo in pop culture, from Naruto to Kill Bill, how his legend continues to inspire entertainment across the globe. Think of this as peeling back layers of time. At the core stands a warrior of the 16th century. Around him swirl centuries of storytelling, myth-making, and cultural imagination. And finally, on the outer surface, the global pop culture that keeps his spirit alive today. Why does this matter? Because the gap between history and legend tells us not only about Hanzo, but also about how cultures create heroes. Just as America has George Washington, half man, half myth, Japan has figures like Hattori Hanzo. He is more than a person. He is a symbol of loyalty, cunning, and transformation. Over the next chapters, we'll ask, who was the real Hanzo? How did the ninja myth take hold? And why does his name still appear in anime, movies, and even video games today? So get ready. Hattori Hanzo awaits, standing at the crossroads of history, legend, and pop culture. Let's begin our journey. Chapter 1, the historical Hanzo. To understand the legend, we must first meet the man. Hattori Hanzo, also known as Hattori Mizunari, was born in the mid-16th century in Iga province, a mountainous region famous for producing skilled warriors. His family belonged to the samurai class, and like many in Iga, they practiced unconventional tactics of warfare. These methods would later feed the image of ninja. Hanzo entered service with the Tokugawa clan at a young age. The Tokugawa were one of many competing powers in the turbulent Sengoku period, a century of civil wars, betrayals, shifting alliances, and constant danger. For a young samurai, survival demanded not only skill with weapons, but also adaptability and intelligence. Hanzo quickly distinguished himself as a fearless fighter. His weapon of choice was the spear, and chronicles praise him as a master of the yari. His ability to inspire men, his strict discipline, and his reputation for loyalty earned him the trust of his lord, Tokugawa Ieyasu. The defining moment of Hanzo's career came in 1582. That year, Oda Nobunaga, the powerful warlord and ally of Tokugawa Ieyasu, was betrayed and forced to commit seppuku. Ieyasu, far from his home territory, was suddenly vulnerable. To survive, he needed to escape hundreds of kilometers back to Mikawa. The journey required passing through the dangerous mountains of Iga and Koga, lands known for their fierce fighters. It was here that Hattori Hanzo played his greatest role. Using his knowledge of the terrain and connections with local Iga warriors, Hanzo organized guides, scouts, and protection for Ieyasu's party. The escape, known as the Iga Crossing, became legendary. Without Hanzo's leadership, Ieyasu might never have survived to later become shogun. This single event secured Hanzo's place in Tokugawa history. Ieyasu rewarded him with greater responsibilities, and Hanzo continued to command troops specialized in unconventional tactics. But it is important to note, Hanzo was not a lone assassin or shadowy rogue. He was an officer commanding real soldiers, combining discipline, logistics, and strategy. Another fascinating detail is that Hanzo was not a single man, but a title. Within the Hattori family, the name Hanzo was passed down for generations, much like a stage name or military title. The most famous, Hattori Hanzo Meizunari, was the second to bear the name, but his deeds came to overshadow the others. Later stories often merged the actions of different Hattori family members, creating a composite legend. In short, the historical Hanzo was a disciplined samurai officer, a skilled commander of men, and a protector of Tokugawa Ieyasu. He was remembered for courage, loyalty, and practical leadership, rather than the supernatural abilities often attributed to him. Yet as generations passed, storytellers would take these qualities, add exaggeration, secrecy, and mystery, and gradually transform Hanzo into something else, the greatest ninja of all. Chapter 2, From Samurai to Ninja Legend. History records Hattori Hanzo as a disciplined samurai commander. Yet over time, stories began to change his image. By the Edo period, when peace settled over Japan, people hungered for tales of the dramatic Sengoku era. Storytellers, performers, and later novelists retold the deeds of warriors, polishing them into legends larger than life. In this process, Hanzo was reshaped. No longer just a spear commander, he became the very symbol of the ninja. Why Hanzo? First, his connection to Iga province, already famous as the homeland of secretive fighters, made him a perfect candidate. Second, his role in rescuing Tokugawa Ieyasu during the Iga crossing lent itself to dramatic storytelling. And third, his family name endured for generations, giving later writers a canvas to merge different deeds into one heroic figure. Gradually, the tales added layers of secrecy and mystique. Hanzo was said to appear and vanish like a ghost, to command shadowy warriors able to slip behind enemy lines, to use disguises, signals, and hidden weapons. In some stories, he even gained supernatural powers, controlling fire, moving impossibly fast, or summoning spirits. These embellishments reflected a human need to turn real cunning into magical legend. But what did real ninja skills look like? The truth is less supernatural, yet still impressive. Ninjutsu was a system of espionage and irregular warfare. Techniques included infiltration, intelligence gathering, sabotage of supplies, psychological warfare, and nighttime raids. Far from comic book magic, it was the science of survival in a fractured land. To make sense of this, we can compare ninjas to modern intelligence agencies. Imagine the Central Intelligence Agency in the United States, or Britain's MI6. Their missions include covert observation, recruiting informants, and disrupting enemy networks, all tasks eerily similar to what Sengoku-era ninjas performed. Just as today's operatives use encrypted messages, ninjas used coded signals, hidden scrolls, and secret meeting points. Just as modern spies disguise themselves with cover identities, ninjas blended in as farmers, monks, or merchants to move unseen. And just as special forces today carry out surgical strikes, ninjas specialized in sabotage and precise nighttime attacks. In this light, Hanzo can be seen as a proto-intelligence chief. He organized networks of warriors, coordinated missions, and leveraged knowledge of terrain and psychology. To his contemporaries, these were pragmatic military skills. But to later generations, they seemed almost magical, feeding the idea that Hanzo was more than human. By the time kabuki plays and woodblock prints spread his story, the transformation was complete. Hattori Hanzo was no longer remembered only as Tokugawa's loyal retainer. He was the archetype of the ninja, the master of shadows, the invisible protector, the ultimate trickster warrior. This is the second face of Hanzo, not the disciplined officer of history, but the legendary ninja whose reputation rivals modern spy masters. And it is this image that set the stage for his third life, as a recurring figure in global pop culture.